Well, you're very welcome to the Lightweight Boxing Show, and this week we are in Liverpool. We've got an exclusive chat with the one and only Callum Smith, who makes his second bow, if you like, at light heavyweight, a weight that he looks very, very natural in as well. We're having a look at him a bit earlier, and so we're going to have a nice catch-up with him. Of course, we're going to be hearing also from Kevin Agyarko, who's going to give us a little bit of Commonwealth Games chat, amongst other things. Who else are we going to talk to?
We will speak to
Buddy McGirt?
Buddy McGirt, yeah.
The great Buddy McGirt, of course. But before we get to all of that, before we get to all that here in Liverpool on a very nice warm day, Commonwealth Games, I'm going to start with that, because what a showing that was, across the home nations. It was fantastic, wasn't it, the boxing?
Unbelievable. It was standard. It was very high. There was a few shocks, and I think, listen, all home nations was fantastic, but I think a special mention's got to go to Scotland. I think Northern Ireland come top of that, so obviously you've got to give them the first mention, because some of the fighters there, I think Amy Broadhurst really liked. The brother sister,
Aidan gold medalist. Walsh,
yes, the Walshes, that was unbelievable. Usyk-Joshua winning the super heavyweight gold in his hometown, great atmosphere, and a night he will remember forever.
Yeah, some talent, big DJ, isn't he? And an amazing story, born in Moscow to a Russian mother, Nigerian father, and absolutely doing the business now. A big one to look out for, I think, for Paris as much as anything. And again, when you're a super heavyweight, you're going to be a star if you can back it up in the ring. And he's edging that way, isn't he?
And he's certainly improving as well.
Yeah, similarities with Joshua in that he didn't start boxing until he was like 18, 19. And here he is now, just a few years later. But yeah, fantastic showing at the Commonwealth Games. And as you say, the Northern Ireland team bossed it in terms of 5 gold medals, all under the guidance of Conlon Senior. And of course, Michael was back in action in Belfast over the weekend and managed to get rid of the demons of the Lee Wood fight.
And he did just that. I thought he looked really well, beat a very live opponent, and it's he just wants to clock out that world title. Like you said, I think he exercised those demons. It was a great atmosphere. It always is going to be in Belfast, I'm sure. We're going to speak about that Belfast atmosphere in a bit with Kevin. But yeah, no, it's good to see Conlon back to winning ways, and he's knocked on the door for world title shots again.
Of course, we went to see Dalton Smith recently in the Steel City gym. He was there with his pal Sonny Edwards. Well, we did think he was going to put on a show against Sam O'Mason, who Sam O'Mason showed great guts, and
he did.
A really gutsy performance from him. But Dalton is a serious talent.
He did. I think we've both sung the praise of Dalton for a long time now, and you've got to remember as well, it was a great fight for him. It was a great turnout from Sheffield, and like I said, Sam O'Mason, he gave absolutely everything, but Dalton was just too good. He was just too good, and I thought he was very composed the way he went about his job. He wasn't in a rush. He thought he's going to get him out there a little bit early, but he took his time, and the future's bright for Dalton Smith. And Sheffield boxing, I think I've got another star there, and I think they had a great crowd in there Saturday night. It's only going to get bigger.
Yeah, it was a brilliant night for Sheffield boxing, but there was a little bit of Essex there as well. Johnny Fisher, whenever he goes anywhere, he's got a little tribe behind him, hasn't he? But he did the business, didn't he?
He did, and I think wherever he goes, and I remember I was with his dad the night before, Big John, who's almost as I think he's more popular. I heard he was actually the most famous man in the arena, or the most popular man in the arena Saturday night. But it's like it's not just from Romford now, it's all over Britain. Like he was telling me, he says, so many tickets have come from just up north who were there, and they make sure everyone gets a t-shirt, who buys a ticket. It was just full of the Romford Bull army everywhere.
Yeah. So we await the next move for the Romford Bull, but of course there was another great opportunity for Michael McKinson stateside. Again, going in against that an Ortiz on form as well. It was always going to be a big ask, wasn't it?
I thought he gave a really good account of himself, and listen, he's shown that he can certainly come again. He's boxed, a very, very good fighter in Virgil Ortiz, and listen, I think he frustrated him at times. And Michael McKinson, he's always going to do that, but he also had success. It was just, it was just a step too far, but there was no shame in it. He's let no one down. Last 2 fights have been in America. It's a great experience for him, and he's come back, and he's one of the very top dogs domestically at welterweight.
Well, a top dog who's gone beyond domestic levels and has competed with the absolute best, world champion, of course, at super middleweight. Came unstuck against CANELO in a 12-round loss to decision against that. Of course, is your old mate, your old stable mate, Callum Smith. He's in the Rotunda under the guidance of Buddy McGirt, who's made the journey over from stateside as well. So, of course, while we're here, we had to catch up with Callum Smith, who's out in action in the desert very soon.
It was a fabulous performance from Alexander Usyk. And Usyk-Joshua loses his heavyweight titles, but he'll be back. Look at this finish. Joshua could be in trouble here.
Well, Callum, looking good in the gym. It's your second fight with Buddy McGirt, who we're going to catch up with later on. But, I mean, how are you feeling now? I was going to say you're growing into light heavy, but you've always looked like a heavy anyway or whatever. But how are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel very good, to be honest with you. I just had second camp with Buddy, and I feel we've built on the first camp. I feel I'm improving all the time with him. And this camp's been a little bit different with it being a southpaw, so the technical side of it's been a lot different, which is good. It's new. And I've enjoyed it. Camps is hard, it's not always enjoyable, but the technical side of it I have enjoyed it. I enjoy coming to the gym because I know I'm improving as a fighter.
Carl, you know, regarding the move to light heavy, everyone used to always go out super middle, and up until sort of the last year, you used to make it reasonably well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Do you still feel like, you look huge at the weight anyway, do you still feel like you're growing into it?
Yeah and no. Obviously, I think, as you said, the super middleweight was always inevitable. I was going to end up here, but I did do it well, and I was performing for a long time and stuff. Where I think it was like the minute I made the move, me walking around weight went heavier than normal, went heavier, and I look now and I think there's not a chance in a million years.
But you're still relatively near the light heavy limit now, aren't you?
That's what I mean. Yeah. So there's not a chance to get anywhere near super middle. So I genuinely am a 175, and I believe I'm a big 175. I think last time out I looked big in the ring compared to Castillo. It was a decent sized light heavy, and I think we'll see this time how I look against a genuine light heavy in Border League. But yeah, I feel good sparring. I feel better than ever. So it's physically a good, tactically I feel we've got a spot on, and I'm looking forward to getting in and getting another win and looking good, hopefully.
It was some introduction to the division, wasn't it? With that knockout, it was horrible. It really wasn't. It was really horrible. But you're going to try and make a statement again in a place you're fairly familiar with. There's not many fighters fighting Jeddah twice.
Yeah,
you're going to do that on a massive undercard in terms of obviously Usyk and Joshua going at it again. But you have brilliant memories from that George Groves fight, haven't you?
Yeah, the best nights of my career so far, and it was so out the box going over to Jeddah. I never thought I'd step foot there again, and it somehow works out. I'm back over there, but yeah, I've got fond memories from there. I've become world champion there, so part of me would have liked to have left it at that, but part of me is looking forward to going back and hopefully adding some more good memories there.
You fight bodily, you come through that.
Yeah.
Bertviev's the bigger.
Yeah.
You become Liverpool's first.
Yeah.
Two-weight world champion. Yeah. Is there any other motivation after that?
No,
or are you waiting to see?
No, to be honest with you, you know me more than most people, and the plan's always been to get in, get out. Before other people are saying I should get out, kind of thing. 90% of people announce their retirement, and it's good luck. I see it coming, whereas I want to be one of the ones who retired, and it was like, wow, we still could have. And my main goal is always retire at the top, and if I can win another world title, which I believe I can, I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't. Yeah. I'd like to do that, to be honest with you, and I think if I was to beat Border League, fight Betfred, beat him, I'd get 3 belts, and I'd have them all. I'd have all 5. I've got the other 2 at home, so I think I'd like to go. There's no other. If I could get the CANELO rematch and try and connect that only loss, then maybe. But I don't think he stays at 175. I think he goes. So again, it's all hypothetical and a dream. But no, I'd love to become a world champion and retire as champion.
It's interesting you say about CANELO. That's still in your head. I mean, that's the only blip on your record. So if you could get him anywhere near 175, is that?
Yeah, no, look, it's not one of them. I'm chasing a rematch and stuff. No, I had my chance. He beat me fair and square. Like I say, I'm not going to sit and call him out. But if I was to become a world champion at 2 weights, the only other thing that had motivated me was to try and correct the only loss on my record. Other than that, I'll have done everything I ever wanted to do. I've done more than I ever wanted to do, to be honest with you. So no, I don't think there is any more motivation than 2-8 world champion and having all the belts to be something that I can retire. And I remember saying to Anthony a long time ago when he retired, I was a bit envious when he retired because he'd been there, he'd done it all, and I knew he was retiring happy and content with what he'd achieved. And you'd be surprised not many fighters get to be in that position. A lot of them have to retire having not fully fulfilled what they wanted to do, or having to retire not on their terms, and I've always wanted to be in that position, and I'm close to being able to do that.
I remember you saying years ago, though, that it's not like you were going to live and breathe it all your life.
Yeah.
You can walk away from boxing and be quite happy about it, if you know what I mean. I know you obviously enjoy it and you're very good at it, but you can walk away from it. It's not going to be all and end all for you. You can do something else.
I've been around this so long, and I've seen a lot of really, really good fighters come away with nothing and have a great career and be sitting there with nothing, and I'd never want to be one of those fighters who stays in too long, and boxing takes more from them what they take from the sport. And I've had a good career so far. I've been very fortunate to have done what I've done, and I say I'd like to stick to my words and get out just that little bit early rather than that little bit too late. But while I am doing it, boxing is my life. I'm as dedicated as anyone else, and I do live and breathe it. And my last 2 fights, I've took myself away to LA on my own, and done weeks out there. I wouldn't do that if the motivation wasn't there anymore. So while I am here, I do give it 100%. But I do believe when I'm done, I'll be happy and satisfied, and I'll be able to walk away and not one of them who come back.
Don't let them follow you. What you gotta do? Stand over. Don't let them go this way. Keep them coming this way, and then back and straight. Everything is good. Everything is fine. You have started to work. Okay, but stay a little more space now.
Well, buddy, thanks for your time. It's been great watching you in action today here in Liverpool. And of course, you've got Callum Smith, who's going to be out in the Saudi show. So, firstly, it's your second fight with Callum. How's he looking? How have the changes that you've tried to maybe implement, how's it all looking?
I mean, everything's fallen in place. It took time. We had to get through the first fight, then get through another training camp. But he's picking up each day, each week, you know what I mean? So it's nothing major, just little minor things, because, you don't want to change nothing big. You just want to cross your T's and dot a little more I's, and then you'll be okay.
But you've seen that he looks, really loose, really sharp. Sparring's been going great for him. Callum, what can you tell us about his opponent? What can you tell us about his opponent Saturday, a week of Saturday?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, I never seen him.
Yeah.
I don't watch tapes because I'm not worried about what he's going to do. We got to prepare for any and everything. Because if you watch a guy and you study him and you look for one thing, and you prepare for that one thing, and he don't do it, then what? Yeah. But if you prepare for everything, what basically is he going to do? Either he's going to box or he's going to fight. How he boxes, we'll figure that out, and then still, at the end of the day, let them worry about what we're going to do.
I like your friend, by the way, Anthony. We've got to refer to this. Who's this?
Little Patser. This is Patser, the baby Frenchie of Molly. Yeah.
The one and only Molly McCann, who's in the gym today. But it's a great gym here, buddy. I'm sure,
yes, it is.
I'm sure you appreciate that. You've been around, of course, fighter, trainer. You've done it all. You've seen it all. Some good fighters in here. You're over here for a certain amount of time, aren't you?
Yes.
Do you enjoy life in Liverpool when you're over here training?
It's nice. It's I've been here in the winter, been here in the spring, and I've been here in the summer. So it's a very nice place. I don't mind coming here. There's days that I want to go home, which no matter where I'm at, it's going to be like that. But everyone here has made it my stay very comfortable. What's the plan for is it Beterbiev? Well, my thing right now, to be honest with you, is the gentleman we fighting on the 20th.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not going to put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it like it is right now, and then on Sunday we can talk.
Before you do go as well, I've got to ask you, because Derek Chisora, of course, you've been in the corner with Derek. Derek's still going. What's your opinion on all that? Do you want to see Derek carry on? Do you want to see Derek fight Fury? What's you thinking? Well, this is how I see it. First, I got to say, great man.
Yeah.
Great guy. When I was out here, and I was out here when the pandemic was really bad.
Yeah.
And he made my stay as comfortable as if there was no pandemic. So he's a great guy. I got nothing but love for him. You know what I mean? I hope he gets that opportunity. And then gets a good payday, and then ride off into the sunset. So nearly over. You kind of like yes. If you get a shot at the heavyweight championship, you can't turn it down. Fight against Tyson Fury, you can't turn it down. It's going to bring in a lot of money. So if he can get that, win, lose, or draw, you ride off into the sunset.
So both Callum and Buddy in great form, and it looks like a really good alliance at this stage, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I think Callum, he's really happy, and Buddy's really happy with the work Callum's doing. And I heard him saying sort of off camera, you know, you're in a great place, you're very sharp, but along these lines, and it's like spar, I think they're going to have the last spar at the end of the week. And he will then, he'll judge from there. He might even think of the spar early because he just wants to keep him wrapped up. It's a huge opportunity for Callum.
Yeah.
He comes through this, he's going to fight the man in the 175 division, and it's a huge fight, and it's a fight I know that Callum wants.
What we touched on in the chat as well, you know, we're fighting in Jeddah for the second time. I never thought that had happened. But of course, you know, we were there actually for the George Groves fight, and you were in training, weren't you? And
yes,
the old rooftop pool and all the rest of it. But there wasn't a great deal to do. But of course, it was brilliant memories for Callum, because that was a hell of a night against George Groves, and it was new territory really at the time, wasn't it?
It was strange because I didn't know what it was going to be like, because obviously, as you know, there wasn't much around the hotel, and didn't know what it was going to be on fight night, but I knew it was great. I always remember one of my favourite bits, all the hotel staff who'd been brilliant with us all week. There was all their fight night. They'd come back, they made sure there wasn't a bottle of champagne, it was a bottle of like sparkling
grape juice or something,
but it was just that their hospitality was unbelievable, and it was great for them to be there. Just little memories like that, and I just think boxing takes you on the maddest journeys. And I remember being on fight day, being on a rooftop pool with 20 Scousers just all sat there, and I was thinking, obviously they want a drop of ale inside. It was, it was just, it's strange the places that boxing takes you, but there's more and more fights since then that's been over there in Saudi and Jeddah.
Yeah, and of course there will be a full preview of that next week, the Joshua Usyk, the return match as well. We'll speak about that a bit later as well. But of course in the gym, we had a bit of breaking news earlier in the week with Kevin Agyarko moving from the iBox gym to here at the Rotunda. He's now going to be trained by Joe McNally, who's obviously Liam Smith's trainer now, JJ Metcalf's trainer. So he's moving to a great gym. So of course, we're not going to miss the opportunity to catch up with the man himself, Kevin. Well, Kevin, good to see you, and obviously the Rotunda in Liverpool. So the breaking news is you've moved camps, you're now going to be trained by Joe McNally. So just give us a bit of insight how it came about, what you're thinking behind that.
After my last performance, during my last camp, I knew that I wanted to make a move, and it was kind of mentally tough trying to get through a camp, not speaking to anyone about it and stuff like that. But yeah, straight after that fight, I went and sat down with the iBox coaches and just told them how I felt, and they supported me in my decision, and we left on good terms. And I'll always support the gym and stuff, but I sat down with my manager, Paul Reddy, and he suggested that I tried Joe out, and I've heard a lot of good things about Joe, and knowing that Liam and JJ both the same weight as me in the gym, do you know what I mean? The two people that I can learn off. So I give Joe a shout and asked him could I come down and try it out, and I've been here since Friday, and I've loved every minute of it. So I think this is where my new home's going to be.
I was going to say that, Kevin, how are you setting in Liverpool? And obviously being a proper Manchester United fan, you're going to come over to Manchester a few times, but how are you finding Liverpool? How are you settling in, being around the lads, being down with a different set of lads?
Yeah, it's been good. All the lads have welcomed me and made me feel at home, and all give me a bit of advice, and it's said if I ever need anything not to hesitate. So they've made me feel welcome, and listen, this is camp, do you know what I mean? It's not meant to be luxurious. I'm here to do a job, but Liverpool's a beautiful city. I fought here in December, and it's just like Belfast, just like home. It'll take me a while to kind of get fully settled in and get used to Liverpool and new faces, new people and stuff like that, but I'm excited about this journey.
I've got to ask you actually, because you made the switch here now, but obviously we saw at the weekend incredible success for the amateurs, the Northern Ireland team, and again, you know, you're one of many now young Irish fighters that, you know, maybe based in the UK or wherever, that are, you know, very exciting prospects, but it just shows you with the 5 gold medal haul that have come from Northern Ireland, and again, there's obviously plenty of fighters in the Republic of Ireland as well. Incredibly strong.
Oh, incredibly strong. Boxing in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and the whole Ireland's booming. It has been for the last couple of years now, but to walk away with 5 gold medals, I think 1 silver and 1 bronze, that's an unbelievable achievement for the lads and ladies that they represented their country at the Commonwealth Games, and they're only going to get stronger. And it was a very young team that went away to the Commonwealth Games, do you know what I mean? So they've all got bright futures, and there's a couple of them that, like Jude Gallagher, who he stopped the English kid and beat the Pakistani kid, who will be an unbelievable pro. So there's a couple that could turn over in the future.
Yeah.
I was thinking that the future of Belfast boxing, it's a huge deal for you to go back there and headline, isn't it, soon?
Yeah, massive deal. I want to go back as soon as possible. I know I'm not going to get it this year, but I'm going to be on Eddie's case to make that happen early next year. I love my Belfast fans. They come out and represent and support me every single fight. And I want to kind of give the platform for the fighters, like the ones that represented at the Commonwealth Games, that whenever they do turn pro, that they have a platform to box back home. And
there's such a big market over there, isn't
exactly, yeah. And listen, the Irish fans get behind their fighters and support, you know what I mean? So the shows always sell out. And I want to kind of be an inspiration and give them that kind of push whenever they are pro, that they can fight on big shows back home. Do you know what I mean? I haven't really had that yet. I fought back home once, and it hasn't really, since Carl's went, there's Mick's doing his thing and stuff now and again in America back home, but I want to be that person that can go back home and headline big shows and bring big historic nights back to Belfast.
Yeah.
Some big nights coming up as well. I mean, I'm sure you've been an interested observer in terms of the likes of like Ben and Eubank, and again, you know, in and around where you are, weight-wise and everything else. I mean, what do you make of that?
Do you know, it was a funny one. At the start, I thought, it doesn't really make sense forever. Who's going to gain anything out of it? Yeah. But listen, it's a big payday. It's going to be a historic night. You know what I mean? Yeah. Their dads are legends in the sport, and listen, it makes sense if they both agree to a weight. I think it's 156 or something like that. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting fight, and I'll actually be rooting for Conor Benn. I hope he does it and pulls off a good win.
Obviously, recently you've dropped down to 154, Kevin. Good win last time out against a very solid opponent. What's the plans for later in the year now? What's the plans for later in the year and moving forward? Obviously, we all want to go Belfast. We all want to go Belfast. Yeah. But what is the plan sort of challenging for titles?
Listen, I've had 3 fights with Matchroom, two title fights, 1 defence. I'm top 10 with the WBA and middleweight, and I'm 12th with the WBA at light middle. So I'll just keep progressing, keep moving up the rankings, defend my WBA title. I want to push on to European level. I know in boxing you can't skip levels. I'm not a domestic fighter, that's why I haven't went down the British route. But I want to push on to European level, win a European title. So I think I'll be out before the end of the year. The next kind of phase for me will be get myself in a position to fight for the European title and then push on to world honours.
You know, going to work knowing you've got to get in with Liam Smith when he's at his spiteful best, it's not much fun, is it? I mean, you have seen him sparring over the years as well.
Plenty of times been on the wrong end of him sometimes as well. But no, great learning rounds though.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, Liam's been a world champion, a proven world champion, and I believe he'll be a 2-time world champion. And I'm only going to gain from that, learning off someone like Liam. And you see Callum's in the gym today, and people like JJ, they're well advanced in their career compared to me. I'm a novice pro, do you know what I mean? I'm 12 fights, and I look forward to sharing rounds with them. Maybe my face doesn't look forward to it, but I look forward to sharing rounds with both of them and learning off both of them, do you know what I mean? It'll only bring me on.
Well, Kevin of Yargo making the move, a great lad, a real talent, isn't he, as well?
Super talent, and I think, you know, he would be split on good terms from the iBox team, a great team down there, and I believe he's joined another great team here. With Joe McNally and Declan O'Rourke, and we just saw him on the pads, and it looks like they're gelling very well together and very quickly.
I mean, you know the lads, you know Joe and Declan very well from going back to the amateurs, both very good amateurs, weren't they? But I mean,
very
this
good
place...
Joe had a handful of pro fights as well, but this is becoming, I'm saying what you was going to say then, this is becoming one of the very top gyms in Britain. It's a great stable. I've got down here, and crossover from boxing, you'll get Molly McCann, who's just been in. Doing stand-up work here. This is it's a great gym, and I think for a gym that has produced one of the best amateur gyms in the country, for it now to have a pro side with a stable like it has, I think it's brilliant.
Thankfully, you missed Jamie Carragher as well, who was in.
Yes,
I think he's in every day, isn't he?
Yeah, in the morning with the fitness class.
He would have given you loads, wouldn't he?
It's I think anyone would be giving a Manchester United fan loads at the minute, but yeah.
Well, of course, this weekend, in terms of the action, there's a big fight stateside. We're going to see the return of Teofimo Lopez, of course, who was beaten by Kambosos. A bit of a shock, obviously, that fight. We'll see the return of that one. But he's getting in with Pedro Campa. And what are you expecting to see from him this time?
Well, he's up at 140, a move that I think was obviously coming. against Kambosos. It's, I know I take credit away from Kambosos, although it sounds like I am, because that night it was a very spiritual, performance. He was very gutsy. He was a man who wouldn't be denied. But I think what happened in that camp, I think he had a disaster. We had the old Triller thing getting put back. There's no denying he certainly overlooked Kambosos, and he was telling everyone I was going to knock him out in the first round, and he went out there with that attitude, and he paid the price. And lost on points, and probably let himself down a few times after it, saying like he didn't think he lost the fight when nearly everyone thought he definitely did. Didn't take the defeat too well, but he's a super talent. He's an unbelievable talent, and I'm interested to see him back out 140, and I believe that he becomes one of the main players in that division.
Does that mean that we won't see your old mate Vasily Lomachenko? I mean, we don't know what the situation is with him, obviously, with the terrible situation in Ukraine at the minute. But again, he would like to avenge that. Are we ever going to see that?
He would, and he feels like there's unfinished business there. But no, I don't believe we'll see that fight again now, because he's at 140, and I don't see Lomachenko moving up for that fight. But we'll see. But there's some great fights to be made for both lads.
Yeah, 140 is way too far for Lomachenko to go, surely. I mean, he's already fighting out of his division, isn't he?
And I think one of the best fights that could possibly be made in boxing for two technicians with Shakur Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko. Bob Arum's been talking about that's in his aims to make that fight. That's a fight I'd really like to make. So that'd be two master technicians. But obviously, listen, first and foremost, we hope Lomachenko's safe. What's going on in his homeland, and we look forward to seeing him back.
Well, speaking of Ukraine, speaking of technicians, of course, next week we're going to have a Usyk-Joshua special, because it is repeat or revenge again. It's there's no point me putting you on the spot just yet, Anthony. You can keep your powder dry. Well, we're going to get predictions from the great and the good, of course, next week as well, in terms of what happens. Callum Smith, who we've already spoken to, of course, on the undercard of that one. But just to give you a little bit of a flavour of what is going on in the Usyk camp, our producer Josh caught up with, I think it's his best mate.
Yes.
Promoter of Alexander Usyk, Alex Krashuk.
He actually took his decision to take this fight under the influence of the crowd. I say crowd with all the respect to the fans, to his friends, to people around him. He spoke to so many militaries. He visited hospitals with injured soldiers, combatants. He was in touch with high-rank military officers. And each and every conversation, he heard the words of blessings, the words of support and blessings for to take the fight. So everyone wanted the Ukrainian anthem to be heard, the Ukrainian flag to be risen. Ukraine needs victories. So that was the key point, the clue, how he came to that decision. So definitely it's the fight for Ukraine. That's going to be actually the third press conference, because we had the first in Saudi, second in London, and now it's going to be the third one on a fight week in Saudi. I don't think we should expect anything extraordinary. Both fighters are gentlemen. They respect each other. They don't like to act Tyson Fury's manner. Trash talking is not something that you used to hear from AJ or from Usyk. There's going to be some humor, probably, maybe some jokes, but definitely not the trash talking. So I think there's going to be much of respect and much of the focus, because the fight is going to be very, very short. So the press conference should take place Tuesday. So it's going to be like 5 days, 5 days to the fight. I don't think that it's a proper time for emotions or things like that. His charisma doesn't have borders. I mean, I remember him first time appearance in the USA in the undercard of Bernard Hopkins. And his appearance on a press conference was just like 30 seconds. He came up to the scene. He said, "Hello, I'm Alexander Usyk. See you Saturday night." And the journalists and the guests were sitting like, "Who's this man?" This is how charisma works. So you shouldn't speak fluent English, fluent Ukrainian, or I don't know, fluent Swahili. It's just a matter of something that's in your heart, the fire that's burning there. Of course, you cannot help admiring this man. You cannot help, enjoying his time with him. It's an amazing personality.
So don't forget, we're going to have a full Usyk-Joshua preview show next week. So look out for that one. But before we go, of course, don't forget as well, all the long-form interviews on our YouTube channel. Loads and loads of content there now as well. So like, subscribe, turn your notifications on, all that business. And again, I know that you were at Old Trafford for the first week. First Premier League game of the season. So before you go, I mean, again, this weekend it's Brentford away, 5:30 kickoff. Are you any more confident about things?
No. I want to say things can only get better, but I don't know if they can. Do you know what it was? Do you know when you go there, day one of the season, everyone's excited. Oh, it's got to be back. I've missed it. How are you keeping? You had a good summer. And then I remember just looking 40 minutes in, ex-player Danny Welbeck, who played unbelievable, by the way, best player on the pitch, we're 2-0 down. And I just looked at him, have I really missed this? Have I really missed this? But yeah, things are going to get better.
Oh, well, we wait and see on that one. But as I say, next week, it's all about Usyk-Joshua. But I think it's about time you got out of here now, because I know all the scousers here have been giving you plenty of stick, Ant. So we should say...
and the football team, so I'm going to go.
Both.
Yeah.
So without further ado, thank you very much indeed for watching the Lightweight Boxing Show.